Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, broadcasting live from Lagos. The Nigerian High Commissioner to the UK, Ambassador Dalhatu Seriki-Tafida, has decried the lack of a comprehensive database for Nigerians abroad. He blames the indifference of Nigerians to register with the High Commission in the UK or any other country. Receiving a delegation from Channels Television in the UK, Ambassador Tafida called on Nigerians not to live in isolation when they're abroad. He admits a database will only be possible when there is a change in mindset. Meanwhile, the Channels TV team, headed by the chairman, CEO, Mr. John Momo, is in London for the official launch of the station on B-Sky-B platform. Our correspondent in London, Doris Akinwa, reports.
Management and staff of Channels Television, led by the chairman, CEO, Mr. John Momo, were received by the Nigerian High Commissioner, Ambassador Seriki-Tafida, and his principal officers in London. The meeting precedes the official launch of Channels Television on the B-Sky-B platform, Channel 575. The excitement has been palpable since the station commenced broadcast on April 9 as Channel 24 in the UK. Chairman CEO of Channels Television, Mr. John Momo, told the diplomats that this is a defining moment for Nigeria and the rest of Africa. With Channels TV in the UK on an international platform such as Sky, an opportunity has emerged to tell Africa's story and showcase the good news that hitherto has been obscure.
We believe that it would help us to change the narrative about Nigeria and indeed Africa, reporting Nigeria objectively, because Nigeria is not all bad news. Now, everybody knows that Nigeria has the best election process after the elections that we had, even though there might be flaws here and there. But everyone is happy about it.
The High Commissioner, Ambassador Seriki-Tafida, couldn't agree more. For him, it is imperative to have an alternative narrative to the myths and stereotypes about Nigeria and Africa.
So professional. So professional. Even in Nigeria, if you are looking for news and adulterated news, they would say go to Channels.
It was also an opportunity to engage with the High Commission on issues that many Nigerians abroad have expressed concern about.
The treatment they get when they are at the embassy over here, sometimes they say they're not as helped as they would like in terms of processing their visas and when they need to go back home.
This place we call Nigeria High Commission has provided state-of-the-art facilities for services, I can say, better than even the one they have in Nigeria.
The issue of a comprehensive database for Nigerians in the UK was also put forward.
We want to do it. We want to have what we call global database. Nobody will come. Why? Because a large number are here illegally. They will not come.
Nigerians in the UK now have access to Channels Television, but more importantly, Africans can now tell Africa's story as it is, home and abroad.
The media here, you notice, they are concerned with the environment, so you need to tell your stories yourself.
Channels is a representation of what Nigeria is about. And really what we want to try to do is to showcase what's good along with what's not good, but to project more the good side, the goodness of the entity that is Nigeria and those who make up that entity.
On Friday, the 15th of May, eminent Nigerians and other dignitaries will converge on the prestigious Café Royal in the heart of London to commemorate the official launch of Channels 24 on B-Sky-B UK. From London, Doris Akinwa, Channels Television News.
Looking forward to the launch tomorrow. Let's bring you more now on our top story. Former central bank governor, who's now Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, has faulted Petroleum Minister Diezani Alison Maduke's claim that a recent audit report by PricewaterhouseCoopers has exonerated the NNPC of diverting the missing $20 billion funds. The Emir insisted the report has rather confirmed that at least $18.5 billion is still missing. Let's just refresh your memory on how the story of the alleged missing funds began. Of course, we do know that the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, who's now Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, who's also known as Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, blew the whistle for the missing $20 billion, which was supposed to be remitted by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. Here's a chronicle of the journey from December 2013 to date.
If oil is and continues to be the dominant revenue source for Nigeria, then it should not be difficult to understand why there is a growing concern on how it is managed. Since the 1970s, the NNPC and Ministry of Petroleum have been responsible for managing oil resources in Nigeria. When the news of the NNPC's non-remittance of $49.8 billion broke, it initially sounded like a familiar tune, but this time, Malam Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, in his letter to President Goodluck Jonathan, that of course led to a floodgate of reactions and denials from the corporation.
That NNPC has failed to remit the sum of $49.8 billion, representing 76% of total national oil receipts, is born out of a surprisingly lack of understanding of how revenues from crude oil sales are remitted into the Federation account.
Exactly on December the 13th of 2013, the NNPC responded, prompting by setting up a reconciliation committee comprising representatives of the CBN, the NNPC, the DPR, the FIRS, the Budget Office, the Ministry of Finance, and of course the Ministry of Petroleum Resources. On December the 18th of 2013, the committee briefed the press at this meeting. The former CBN governor adjusted his figures from $49.8 billion, claiming only $12 billion was the shortfall.
We did not see the letter as the conclusion of an investigation, but an invitation to investigate. So the conclusion that $49.8 billion was missing was wrong, even though we had made the allegation that it was unlimited. There is a general consensus among us on this table that there is a shortfall, even though the amount is being disputed. For us in the central bank, the shortfall in the period is about $12 billion.
No, I just wanted to add that we found about 10.8 billion.
May the 14th, 2015, the story again changes. He says now the final figure is $18.5 billion. With agreement at some point and disagreement at other times, PricewaterhouseCoopers were officially appointed by the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation to conduct a forensic investigation. Done with, the report was presented to President Goodluck Jonathan, who transmitted same to the Auditor General for a public presentation. Back to the money. General Buhari says it's too huge to be ignored. How much does the report say about the missing money anyway? Is the $1.4 billion recommended as refund the only unaccounted or unremitted monies found in the investigation? But now that the CBN boss puts his final figure at $18.5 billion, what steps should be taken to address the operational deficiencies of the corporation, which the report claims is unsustainable? Whether it's $49 billion, $20 billion, $12 billion, $10.8 billion, $18.5 billion, or even $1, Nigeria's crude is for the benefit of all. No sale of a drop should go unaccounted for.
There seems to be no respite yet for consumers of premium motor spirits, popularly known as petrol, this part of the world. That's going by the prevailing fuel scarcity that the masses continue to face. Nigerians are asking concerned bodies to bring an end to their suffering occasioned by the fuel scarcity.
As days roll by, the prevailing fuel scarcity in the country seems to be worsening. Those at the receiving end, the motorists, passengers, and even petrol marketers, recount their ordeals in trying to get supplies.
Guys, we go through a lot of things based on top of the bridge before we cross in here. They will even break our lights, they will destroy our mirrors, at times they will break the windscreen, they even beat us mercilessly as if we are not human beings.
These petrol tankers have been parked at this depot for days, and the drivers still don't know if or when they'll get supply. A situation some say is being addressed.
Apart from the strike action embarked upon by the major marketers, which led to strike for a few days, after that period, the independent marketers under which we work here, they have been working.
While all this is ongoing, the 48-hour ultimatum the Lagos State government handed down to petrol tanker drivers to vacate their illegal parks is also nearing an end. And one wonders if the tanker owners will meet up the deadline. But more worrisome is how the nation got into this situation.
The immediate problem is that of subsidy payments and the fear that a new administration will come in and may not honor commitments of the past. And if that is not done, if something has to be done, one, to meet the payments that are due, two, to enable them order some cargo to take care of the immediate problem as soon as the new administration comes in. That is the problem of this administration, and the link between that and those who are importing the product. But the product importation system itself is actually, there's a cloud of impunity or corruption that surrounds the entire subsidy scheme. So one never knows what the truth is and how much of it is grandstanding. But the reality is that Nigerians are suffering. The price is enormous at a time when we need everything to actually step up the economy.
I think it has to do with the issue between the marketers and the government, because the marketers are saying that the government is owing them so much money, and the government is saying no, they are not owing as much money. So as a result of the marketers have now decided that they're not going to import any products. So since they're not importing any product, this is what you get.
The FRSC Corps Marshal is also directed his men to constantly monitor traffic congestion on the Apapa Highway. And with the deprivation consumers daily endure, one can only wish that all pending issues around fuel scarcity be resolved soon, so that respite may come the way of the masses and sanity restored to our roads.
One of Nigeria's leading beverage companies, Nigerian Breweries, has earned the approval of its shareholders for the payment of final dividend of 4.75 naira for the 2014 financial year. And that approval was granted via a voting exercise at the 69th Annual General Meeting of the company in Lagos. Our business correspondent, Temple Ashaju, reports.
Bright faces of Nigerian Breweries shareholders here to receive the report of their company's activities for the year 2014. The presentations are to be done by the executive management, and top on the ordinary business list include the declaration of dividends and election of directors.
Thank you.
But just before that session, shareholders showered the board members with commendation for an excellent performance for the year.
I hereby lay before you the director's report and statements of financial position.
Nigerian Breweries is the king of brewing in Nigeria and Sub-Saharan Africa. Give it a round of applause, please.
This of where many companies are trying to keep ahead and doing better than we. You still have something to say, shareholders.
And then, voting by show of hands for dividends as well as directors and audit committee members.
I now put the motion to the meeting. Will those in favor of this motion please signify by raising their admission cards in their right hand?
Please signify. We have dealt with the formal business.
And with a healthy meeting conducted on a financial with marginal declines in revenue and profits, the board is optimistic of improved turnover in 2015.
There is no doubt that 2015 will be a very tough year. But with our cost leadership agenda we have in place, I have no doubt that we will continue to prosper in the marketplace.
The merger with consolidated breweries, we are well on track in order to drive revenues and also take cost synergies. At the same time, we put some innovations in place last year and the beginning of this year. They will all add value.
A total of 37.20 billion naira is paid to the Nigerian Breweries shareholders for the 2014 financial year in the breakdown structure of 1 naira 25 kobo as interim dividend and 3 naira 50 kobo as final dividend. Temple Oshaju, Channels Business News.
When the news at 10 returns, Nigeria's consumer inflation rises to 8.7% as the nation's GDP dwindles to 3.86% in the first quarter of the year. We have details of business news. Please join us again.